Excuse the sweaty glow. Super hot today. Hi mamas, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be one of a three-part series called Montessori for Everyone. And this video in particular is going to be talking about how to do Montessori cheaply. So Montessori is not about the toys, it's not about the shelfie, it's not about the beautiful playroom. I mean, all of that stuff is aesthetically nice to look at. It's all very appealing on places like Instagram, but is it necessary? Absolutely not. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to do Montessori cheaply, but effectively. If you want to follow Montessori, but you feel like maybe your budget is limiting you, and you're looking for ways to be perfectly Montessori, but on a cheap, small budget, then this is a video for you, so keep watching. My first tip is thrift like crazy. Thrifting is amazing. When I first heard about Montessori, my daughter was really small, only a few months old. I instantly fell in love. I read book after book after book, watched vlog after vlog after vlog, learning as much as I could. But at the time, because I was on maternity leave, I wasn't working, so our income was cut short, and honestly, we just didn't have the money to buy all the resources or what I thought was necessary to do Montessori at home with my daughter. And I've always been an eco girl at heart. When my daughter Mia was born, I always looked for ways to be eco-friendly with her, ways to not buy so many things, because when you have a baby, there's so many things to buy, especially when it's your first. So I really wanted to find ways to do it cheaply, affordably, but still encompass Montessori as part of our lifestyle. So I started to visit more charity shops, which is effectively what a thrift store is in the US. We call them charity shops here. And then honestly, it changed everything. I found some amazing materials, from wooden blocks to dolls to animals to vehicles, books galore. You can literally find it all in a charity shop. And some of which I still have now, things that were secondhand but really good quality and are still going strong. Another thing that I used to do, and I still do now, is I research secondhand toys on places like Facebook, Marketplace. Really good to get things locally. Sometimes there's even free things on there. Not very often, but sometimes, and that's really cool. Car boot sales, garage sales, they're all really good places to go to find little gems really, really cheaply and affordably. One of my top buys from a charity shop, which I'm still super proud of now, is a ball run. Now this ball run, I have had endless messages about since I featured it in a video a while ago, but I literally got it for £2 from a charity shop. It didn't have any balls with it, which was fine because they're easy to get hold of cheaply. But yeah, beautiful wooden ball run. It's been played with ever since. One of the most loved resources that I've ever had. And she used it from the age of kind of 1 up to now. She still plays with it now, just for fun. It's actually been re-released by the company that produced it. It wasn't available at the time, so I never knew how much it actually cost brand new, although I did try to find it. And they've really re-released it, and it's actually £100, over £100 to buy brand new now. So now I'm even smugger than ever, because I feel like, wow, that was an absolute bargain of a lifetime. Just get out there to thrift stores, charity shops, see what you can find, get some little gems, and save yourself an absolute fortune. My tip number 2 is to DIY, salvage and recycle. So when my daughter was really young, I used to watch her, I used to observe her, as you do when in Montessori. And whenever I kind of picked up on a new interest, something that she was doing or learning, I would try and put something together for her in the moment. One thing that she really, really used to love was posting. And I noticed this because we have the IKEA stool and it has a little slot in the top, and she would walk over to it or crawl over to it, pull herself up, and she'd post stuff through the hole. And she had a lot of fun doing that. So I thought, okay, so how can I turn this into an activity for her, make it maybe a little bit more challenging? So I basically kept as many tubs and jars as I could, things like coffee jars, things like tea bag tubs, and I would cut holes in the top of varying sizes and then I'd give her balls or big items, smaller items that she could try and fit in there. As she got kind of better at that and it got easier, she liked to start posting smaller things. So I'd make little coins out of cardboard. I'd keep the lids of milk bottles and I'd keep those in a big basket for her to post, and then I'd cut kind of smaller slots in them. And then obviously as she got even better with her hands and posting and the fine motor skills developed, she could then use coins, which she absolutely loved. So we'd have a money jar and she'd empty it out and she'd spread them all out and she'd be touching them, feeling them, you know, enjoying that sensory experience, and then posting them too. And you can always find things like money jars at thrift stores. Sometimes you might have that type of thing just lying around that someone might have bought for you. So it's good to just go through the cupboards and see what you've got that might suit, and you can try and make it work. And then it literally costs nothing. A couple of other things I would do is I would make picture cards for her. So I draw things. I mean, I'm not an artist or anything, but I would draw things on card and cut it out. So matching fruit or animals, or I'd print stuff off the computer if you've got a printer and cut them out. I did have a laminator at the time, which I don't use much anymore. That's always handy because if children are little, like to put things in their mouth, and paper and card isn't always great for that because it can get destroyed. I would also cut pictures out of magazines and I would make a scrapbook, almost like a wordless book for her to look through. It would help her with language. We would talk about, you know, this person's wearing this type of outfit, or this person is going here, or what they're doing in the picture, they're jumping. You know, there's so many ways to increase their vocabulary. Just flicking through a book, they can learn so many things. So number 3 is make a wish list for birthdays and for Christmases. This way you know exactly what you're getting, and you know that it's going to be something worthwhile, something useful, something that's going to be enjoyed, and something that's probably going to last a lifetime too. And people do like to buy meaningful gifts. If someone asks you what your child wants, you know, make sure you've got a list available and say, hey, yes, I know exactly what we need, I know exactly what we want, I'll send you the list. And then you know that something's going to come that isn't going to be a waste of money, isn't going to get kind of cluttered in the house, and you're not going to end up having to kind of give it away or that kind of thing. It's going to have purpose, which is really, really important, especially when you're on a budget. And remember, no one knows your child like you do. You're with your child all the time. You're observing them, you're watching them. Nobody's more interested in your child than you are. Every single thing that they do, you're kind of drawn to and fascinated by as a parent. You would know more than anybody what they're doing, what they're learning, what they're interested in, and you can share that with family and friends. Number 4, Montessori isn't really about the materials or the toys. It is a way of life. And it doesn't really have to cost anything at all to incorporate it into your everyday. You can learn about Montessori from videos on YouTube, which are obviously free. You can learn about them from blogs, which are also free if you have the internet. You can learn about them from podcasts. You can go to the library and find Montessori books and learn about Montessori there too. And then once you've soaked up all that learning and knowledge, you can encompass that and bring it into your everyday life with your child. For example, very simply, aside from all the toys and resources and shelves and everything else, you don't really have to do any of that. The most important thing really is to follow your child, is to watch what they're doing, observe what they're doing, and respect them for what they're doing in that moment, what they're trying to learn, what they're interested in and what they're not interested in. For example, if your child wants to sweep all day, then they want to sweep all day. You know, that's something that they're trying to learn, that's something that they're trying to develop. So as a mom or parent, you just sit back and you just let them get on with it, let them build that skill and make it as easy as possible for them. Make sure that the sweep is in a place where they can get to it, you know, where they don't need to ask for it, where they don't need to reach up high or open a cupboard to get to it. If you know that's what they're interested in, put it there and just let them get on with it, basically. And then if your child isn't interested in something that you would like them to be interested in, then don't worry, you know, respect that. That is okay. They will come to it eventually, probably. So for a while, my child wasn't super interested in drawing for a really long time. I put crayons out for her, even when she had really good fine motor skills. She was never very interested in doing that kind of thing. She was always more interested in getting her hands in the paint and kind of getting messy and spreading it everywhere, rather than holding a crayon and drawing and, you know, mark making in that way. And that was totally fine. I always made sure that she had access to some kind of drawing material like a crayon, and that's all I needed to do. And I knew that eventually she would go to it when she was ready, and she knew it was there. It was always accessible to her, and it was her choice as to whether she wanted to do that or she didn't. So the best thing you could do is to be in the moment with your child, accept them for where they are at that time. Don't compare them with any other children and their interests, what they can do and they can't do, and just really enjoy what your child is trying to learn and what they're trying to tell you. And just let them develop at their own pace, let them be independent and capable, and all you really need to do is that, prepare the environment so that they have opportunity to be independent and capable. And that is a way of life, and it costs absolutely nothing at all. And really, that is what matters most when it comes to Montessori. It's not about anything else. It's not about buying the fancy toys and having the beautiful play shelves. If you want to do it cheaply, then it's entirely possible. So I'm going to link above one of the videos I did a while ago, another Montessori series on practical life and different easy activities that you can do with your child. So I'll link that above for you, so you can watch that. This particular video, as I said at the beginning, is part of a 3-part series, which is called Montessori for Everyone. The next episode is going to be next week, so do have a look out for it. And that is everything. So thank you so much for watching again. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I'll see you next time.